Invincible Season 2 was... Oh my... Coming off a nuclear Season 1 last year, the boys over at Express Shipping had set expectations high for fans coming into this season. So with shot eyes and cheeks liquidating more than Mark 30 seconds into a fight, I for one was very much excited to watch this season. And because this is a Season 2, being compared to what came before is to be expected, I think most would agree that Season 1 had a more I'm in your face. Simply put, we the audience knew to some degree what the conflict between Mark and James would lead to. The scale of bodies and brutality that came with their fight though could only be described as goddamn Mark, goddamn Mark, oh my god, Mark, goddamn Mark, somebody throw him a med kit. At this point, he's more water than meat. Like hell, if somebody took my ass and threw me in a fighting den with Mike Tyson and a literal gorilla, I would bet you that I'd come out that fight looking better than this. Not to say I would be alive, no, I'd be dead. But I doubt they would drag me out looking like I had a Royal Rumble with the entire cast of MK11. So with that, we move on to Season 2. Taking place a month after Mark and James had leveled the fucking city, we catch up with Mark and his very subtle, not noticeable, concentrated doses of trauma, aiming to make up for the many lives lost to the not Kryptonian, enacting his plan to not murder and enslave the entire planet. Mark goes through this entire season mentally and more physically shown beaten to submission by that guilt. AKA, Mark holds back and gets his shit stomped in, to then not hold back and get his shit stomped in. Wait, what? It's been a while since I've seen a character taking repeated back shots of fuckery, either well-intentioned or not, leading to Mark getting the short end of the stick. James, unlike Mark this season, was locked in from jump. After failing to murder his wife and enslave the rest of the planet, James lost without purpose. He wanders the galaxy long enough for his face to go from this to this, before deciding what's the point, might as well end it. Before he commits to that decision though, he notices a flailing ship containing the Bugs Life cast and saves their life. Fast forward, James got down to work, becoming king of the bug people, and even packing one of them with his super sperm, enough to have an entire baby. It all happened in a month, by the way. It's not until Mark and James have their lovely reunion in the Season 1 climax that we get to see how much he has actually changed. He has feelings. But even despite his newfound feelings, at his core, he is still a Viltrumite. Apparently one of the greats, the GOAT, if you will. I got that from the Viltrumites that pull up on James and Mark, giving him the most sensational of glaze.
You conquered hundreds of planets, brought glory to the Empire. You were one of our greatest warriors.
Just him, Omni-Man. I don't get it. Why'd you betray us, Omni-Man? If Mark and James were the main characters of Season 1, dare I say, it feels like Debbie and Donald gave them a run for their money this season. That's right, Donald D. He's with the big boys now. He made the league. That's not to say that the other characters like Rex, Immortal, Cecil, Robot, Monster Girl, you know, everyone got some attention given to their arc this season, but Donald and Debbie stood out the most, I think, because of how their arc tracked over to other characters as well. Donald this season grappling with his identity, who he is and his purpose moving forward. Is he truly alive if more than 90% of his body is machine? His arc compounded with another character, Rick, the Build-A-Boy challenge gone wrong from last season, which Rick now being re-released back into society with that lingering trauma, attempts to end his life, only realizing the value his life still has if he chooses to live it.
We're not our bodies. We're the decisions we make, the lives we change, the people we love, or who love us.
Yeah, I never thought I would love a character named Donald. Debbie, still very much a boss bitch in her own right this season, struggling with so much. Fucking husband's a murderer, son's depressed because your husband's a murderer, people hate anyone associated with that murderer. So you put in a situation to raise your ex-husband's purple fucking baby, to then get attacked by a literally brain damaged poor man's Rick Sanchez. It's been a long day. Yet despite all that, Debbie is constantly shown to be a very selfless individual. What she can't do physically, she makes up for with spirit. To not stand in the way of Mark and what he has to do, but to support him and even at times remind him who he is. Not his father, but a superhero with a kind heart, an indomitable will, able to take on anything thrown at him. He's a great man. Side note to another character, Amber. Amber. Which, whether you have or haven't seen the season yet, Amber has changed quite a bit this season. The insufferable love interest from Season 1 managing to piss off everyone globally when she said,
"We're fighting because you lied to me. You made me feel stupid and unimportant.
It's a secret identity.
And because you don't trust me.
I'm guessing the writers took note of the fandom's outrage because she is a lot less. I had to save the kids. And a lot more. You know what, Mark? I'm sorry for earlier. I understand that you're a superhero. I understand that you have needs, and my needs can't be met all the time because your needs are your needs, and I understand your needs. I understand the needs that you have to take care of, and I just want you to know that even though you have to take care of those needs, that I'm still needing, you know? I get that. I get that you got that. Even the build up to their breakup and the actual breakup was very emotional, you know, as it should be. It links back into things that Debbie and even Mark was feeling back when he was a kid. A lot of just overlapping themes there. So, you know, the culmination of that paid off really well. I wasn't sad though, you know, I was lighting fucking fireworks, dog. I've been waiting since season 1 to do that, goddamn. It even goes along with Mark's final decision in the finale. Mark needs to lock it the fuck in. Mark needs to be stronger because the threats coming are stronger. And while the team is actively getting weaker, I'm talking morphine weak to Big Brother fentanyl. Like, wow, I knew the Guardians weren't the strongest group on the block. Hell, I'm pretty sure midway through season 1, it was calling on Mark more than a $5 hooker on discount days. But this season is where I really felt that the Guardians were unbelievably outclassed. They got squad wiped by Skeletor on roids and got put into critical condition by the costume lizards. And that's not to downplay the lizards, okay? I see the way they were moving. Roids can be very scary. This big motherfucker who for me had the most big dick energy in the show carried the fuck out of his team. He was slamming Kate around so easily as if her body was jello. For real, he would just do the most basic of moves, right? And Kate, anytime she was touched, would just shatter quicker than an iPhone. Like what is this, man? What is she made of? When her and Immortal was going at it, was Immortal just breaking body after body after... All right, let's relax. Even after roided Hulk Hogan splattered Duplicate, he then proceeds to, he like swallows Ant Girl and then like crushes her with his muscles, his skeletal. I don't know. He fucking like squeezes her, and you think she's dead. She doesn't die. Spoiler, she doesn't die, but you know, that scene in and of itself is just fucking insane. And then after that, he proceeds to bum rush Rex and chews off his fucking hand before finally being put down. Roids can be very scary. So if you think about it, if his teammates weren't absolutely donkey water and he wasn't stuck doing all the work, this could have been a clean sweep for the WWE cosplayers. I make this scene a big deal for a couple reasons. One, this scene was obviously put in place to reinforce the fact that the Guardians, even without their heavy hitters, are not ready for something like a Viltrumite invasion, for example. Why'd I say that? Like Mark, they fight desperate, and because the odds are so stacked against them, the feeling that they can die to any strong person keeps that feeling of death at any corner for most of the characters really high, which I like. You know, that's a plus. Ironically, a reverse criticism that seems to be brought up with the boys as the season progresses. But for the life of me, watching this scene, I can't understand why Cecil had no backup teams. Like, Cecil gotta be running this shit like it's the JLA or the Avengers, okay? Let everybody in. Everybody needs to be in on this shit. Like look, who the fuck is that? Fucking, or Man over here, let them in. Let them all in. We need all the help we can get, like for real. Also, considering that Mr. Levy here is the main antagonist for Mark this season, introduced episode 1. We see him like 2 more times before the big finale, and those brief moments we do see him, he's just killing other Marks, which, you know, more power to him. You know, those other guys, they're not the best of people. But I feel like a lot of the heavy lifting for him character-wise is the fact that his brain is meshed sludge juice from his other lives. We know what he wants, right? To kill Mark. Every Mark. You know, that's it. And because the Mark he's beefing with did fuck all to him, we're left with an antagonist whose sole motivation is pretty weak. You know, a wise man once said, even if he wasn't used as just an antagonist to Mark, he has multiverse powers, dude. Doesn't that sound like there's so much potential? Like, fuck the other Marks. I want to see the other worlds. Hell, they could have used him for more season 3 bait, you know? He could be pretty much anywhere at any time, talking to future characters for season 3 or beyond, you know, like fucking Battle Beast, for example. Where's my Battle Beast? JJ, where the fuck is my Battle Beast, man? But hey, that's just me throwing out ideas, you know? Last thing, okay? So I know I got on Mark's ass earlier, but for real, big ups to him. Holding back all the time and taking repeat beatings, you know, and just not just unleashing full whoop ass 24/7. It takes a lot to do that, especially when your record in these fights are about to hit negative. Like, I would understand Mark more if his fights were a lot closer than they are, but it's either he dominates or he's gonna die. Help me, please. Help, please. Oh, Mark, help me. Roids can be very scary. I wouldn't be able to see myself in that position, you know, as a hero, holding back, knowing that I could die to my opposition if I'm careless. No, I couldn't do it. I wouldn't sign up to be a hero, you know, not unless I was